Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Doing good? All right, you guys remember me from last week. Some of you, I was talking about Oprah. I love her. She's my favorite entrepreneur. I wanted to be like her. So this weekend, tried to get some sponsors. It's pretty hard. She's a pretty good lady to get those sponsors. So I came and formed a team this weekend, and we created a solution that finds sponsors easily. So let me introduce our team real quick. James Dean over there. There we go. He's got a cigarette in his mouth. All right. Emeril Lagasse. All right. Jim Carrey right here. Bruce Lee. Shabby. No one knows soccer in America, but he's famous in another country. And then me, I'm Old Spice. There we go. So, what is Sponsa? It's an easy, hassle-free way for you to find sponsors for your event. So say like Startup Weekend. For this event, you need sponsors. So we make that solution easy and connect you with those people who are looking to sponsor your event.
So, what is the problem? The problem is that sponsors won't let you move your meat puppet. So let Sponsta do that for you. The real problem is cold calling. It's a pain in the ass. No one wants to do it. Event organizers, like the Startup Weekend organizers themselves might know, they make calls and calls every single day. And they're not guaranteed any results at the end of the day. And worst of all, they might not even get a single sponsor for their event. So what Sponsta does is that we guarantee you that we're going to put you in direct contact with these sponsors. Also, another issue is that sponsors are trying to reach their targeted demographic, and they always can't do that. What Sponsa does is that they have a filter system that allows you to reach your targeted market. Also, when they're giving out these products for free at the events, they're not receiving ROI feedback on these events. Was my product good? How did it go? And they're going to get reviews on that.
Got an event? Get sponsored. It's a real simple, easy platform to use. So let's say I'm an event manager and I need to get a sponsor. I'm simply going to click Find a Sponsor, fill out the general information, location, attendees, and sponsorships I'm interested in, whether it's money, food, beverages, or other goods that I'm interested in. Also, there's an age range for demographical purposes. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, let's say I'm a sponsor. I need to find an event to sponsor. Simple. Find an event. Here's our current listings of our events with a title, date, and click view, simple description, and easy to use. I'm going to take it back to my man, Old Spice.
So you guys are probably wondering, how are you going to make money? I know these judges are definitely wondering that. So we're going to use a subscription model that sponsors will pay for. Simple as that. And it's going to be targeted by market size that they're trying to reach, as well as age, proximity. So proximity to, say if they're only looking for Orange County and Orange in general, they'll target by that, as well as gender and event type.
For customer validation, we've already acquired event organizers who are looking for sponsors, and we've also acquired sponsors looking to sponsor people. As you can see, we have Home Depot, 5Gen, who allowed the cloud space for this weekend, TMS, and O'Hara's. Also, we allowed O'Hara's to sponsor tonight's Startup Weekend event by allowing everyone here tonight $7 pitchers, free pool, and also a back room for us to all party in, because I know we've had a long weekend.
That includes you, judges.
So on the business model, why did you go with a subscription model rather than a piece of the transaction?
Well, you know, initially we were going with a piece of the transaction, but we realized that not everything is money. So we would lose out on that. They're actual physical goods that are given. So say like they get pizza for tonight, we're going to get missed on that transaction. They can go around us and just pay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, no slice for us, you know. So, and we had some good consulting to help us come up with that subscription model.
Is there anyone doing this now, or did I miss that? Any anyone online?
As of right now, there's IEG, but they only deal with large groups and large events. So we were checking, and I mean, unless you're like an event of like maybe like 10, 15,000, I don't think they really want to touch a small local market. And we did find like one or two people doing local stuff. There's one that was like in Germany, and their website was really shoddy. And then there was another one that was doing stuff at only athletic events.
Customer acquisition, can you go over that one more time?
As far as customer acquisition, we are looking at the best way of doing that. This weekend we did some cold calling and everything, of course, kind of roll it out for the weekend. But we want to target trade organizations that event organizers are a part of, as well as sponsors are a part of. So say for like beverage companies, go after beverage organizations to get some adoption there.
You should also look at a partnership with Eventbrite or something like that, too.
We actually really want to do that, so we're hoping that they want to do that. And start a weekend, Mark or anyone can help us with that. We'd love you. So, help. Oh, right here. Oh, sir, we love your help.
Honor, you're on deck. Filed by Byerty.
Hello?
All right, we're going to start things a little different. And that didn't work.
So now that you're thinking of pets, we want to bring you to Watch My Pet, which is a website, a community that's bringing together pet owners and pet sitters. The problem is, all of us have pets. There is one option: kennels. They're not flexible. They're in high demand, and it's unfocused. The market is highly fragmented, and we think this is an area that we can capture.
All right, so we have by far the simplest idea of the evening, but something that we feel could be pretty effective. This is our website, watchmypetnow.com, and it's pretty basic. When you go to the site, it's a call to action right away to tell you what to do depending on who you are. So if you're a sitter, all you have to do is click sitter sign up right here, and you're given a form where you put your basic information in. This is something that everyone's going to do, and a little bit later we'll get to our premium model as well. If you need care, if you're a pet owner, there's two options for you: find daycare and find overnight care. So the driving force in this idea was the fact that a few weeks ago, Todd went to look for overnight care. He literally could not find it. He had to sift through a bunch of hourly rates on pet websites. So when you click on Find Overnight Care, you're taken to the website that matches your zip code with where the pet sitters are, and then you're given profiles, logos that indicate whether they're overnight users or just hourly users, as well as a review system.
So there's a market. Right now, obviously, it's a recession, not doing very well, but yet the pet market is growing. It's growing by 4%, expected to grow, and 62% of people have a pet. Now, who's in this market? Yes, there's the brick and mortar, PetSmart. There's also a couple focused websites, SitterCity, Care.com, focus more on babysitters, also elderly people, but yet still highly fragmented and no really overnight pet option. Focus.
All right, so customer acquisition, pet owners, how are we going to get them? For the interest of time, we're just going to kind of sum up this slide. The main driver here of getting the business is social media and word-of-mouth advertising. We spent about 45 minutes last night talking to a pet sitter who did this professionally for 6 years. She said Facebook, which, by the way, was not as big when she actually did this 5 years ago, was one of her biggest driving forces as far as advertising, and word of mouth was her most effective way to promote her business. How are we going to get the pet sitters? The main thing here is to make this as easy as possible. The one thing that pet sitters need, they need to be found. So our website is going to have a very specific way that we're giving direct matches to the pet owners to match them up with what they need. So if they need overnight care, they're going to have it. They're not going to have to sift through a bunch of crap. If they need hourly care, it's going to be right there for them.
Great. So this is an underserved market. We have an option for you. How are you going to make money on this? Well, suppliers, you're going to have two options. First, you have the low cost, where you just free profile. You also have the premium profile, which is going to include like a highlighted profile, reference options, background check, all included. The second option to making revenue is we're going to offer a percentage of the revenue. So everyone's going to come to this website. The transaction is going to take place on the website. We're going to take 5% of what the sitter is going to make from it, but we're giving her a bigger customer base to pick from, so it's going to be easier for her. She can pick, and we think this is a great option. Underserved market, very simple, easy to go, scalable, and so if you have any questions, we'll open that up.
Did I miss? Who sets the rate?
What was that?
Who sets the rate? Did I miss that?
Sets the rate. The pet sitter sets the rate. So that's actually, just really quickly, one thing that we didn't touch on. One thing that we're going to do to get pet sitters is to literally go to the pros. So there's a lot of pet sitters out there right now that are professionals that have their own sites. Quite frankly, their sites aren't very good. So we're going to go to them and basically say, hey, we'll automate this whole thing for you. You can keep your current rates. You can keep your current hours. But we'll keep your schedule. We'll get you more customers.
Just for a comment, I mean, just positioning as performance-based marketing for them, that should be a pretty easy sale.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any validation from the users that they want something like this? I mean, the people who own pets?
Well, I have a personal experience. Business individual coming back from vacation, you're rushing to get home. Pet places close on Sunday at 5. Holidays, you can't pick them up. Have to wait for the next day. You can just go to a house near you, pick them up. They're open 24 hours. This is an individual. There's also the option of pets are in cages. They come home, they're tired, they're sick. You know, if you just bring a pet to another house, they're running around in the yard, it's like they're in their normal habitat, so it doesn't affect them as much.
We also did talk to a few pet owners over the weekend as we developed this, and the one thing, which I'm sure a lot of people in the room that have pets would agree with, is the trust factor. And they said that if so there's a website called TaskRabbit that's a lot similar to Angie's List and some of these other sites that are task machines. And the main thing that they said that drives their willingness to use that is the review system and the recommendation system. So if the pet owner actually trusts that they're getting a legitimate person, they would use the service.
Do the pets write those reviews?
Actually, that is one thing that we do plan to do. We do plan to review the pets, honestly, because we want the pet sitters to be able to say that, hey, Fluffy was really tough this weekend, so someone in the future might not want to get that dog or could jack up their price. Yeah.
On the model of having a sitter pay to be listed or for premium listing, why'd you have to go with a one-time charge rather than a subscription?
Well, we want to get this built up. We want to get it going. We don't want to deter the sitters to come. Initially, it's going to be the one-time cost. Down the road, as we build up the base, there's always the option. The sitters want to stay on the website, a $5 yearly charge, something just to keep them interested and also keep the profile updated.
Yeah, and the main thing is just to get people in the door. So with the premium membership, the background check is actually critical for what I just mentioned, that trust factor. So yeah, sure, you can come on our website as a pet sitter and say that you'll be a pet sitter for absolutely nothing, but what's really going to drive business? The premium or the background check, the label that says certified, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what you're going to have to pay for one time to then have potentially more revenue down the line for yourself. Thank you.
All right, we're down to the final four. Honor, you're up next, followed by Byerty, who's on deck, U-Design, and Triple Shot. Our final four. Byerty, I'll be looking for your slides or your laptop as they enter Q&A.
Good evening, folks. We are Honor.me. We are a payment-based loyalty program for small and medium-sized merchants. Folks, we have already told you, and we know that many of you have used the Starbucks loyalty program. And many of you like it. Many of you find it functional. The problem is today that small and medium-sized merchants have to pay a high processing fee. They don't have any meaningful loyalty program which is simple, easy to use, not complicated. Solution is, of course, to give merchants the possibility of having lower payment processing fees, make it affordable and easy to use. Let's look at a demonstration to see what we are talking about. What could be the solution?
Okay, so let's say I'm a small business owner. I run a local restaurant. So I'll sign up to the service, and I'll log in to the Honor website. I'll be brought to a dashboard that will show analytics about my loyal customers. It'll show a little list of all the loyalty cards I've created. And then I might want to create a new loyalty card. Quite simply, I will attach my logo to the page, and then I'll put in my business name, maybe a small description. I'll set the reward parameters that I would like. Then I'd go ahead and commit that. I'd just save it, and then I'd publish it. And I'd get a picture with the loyalty card that will be pushed to my customers. So now when my customer walks into the door, they'll go ahead, buy their merchandise, and when they go to pay, I can suggest that they try this new method of payment, this mobile payment. When they sign up, they download the app, they'll get the loyalty card of the current business that they're at, and it'll show them the rewards, and they can just pay with the phone right there using our point-of-sale system that we'll provide as well. And the transaction will be made, they'll get their receipt, there's no paper involved, they'll get their loyalty points, and they can rack up all their loyalty points, all consolidated in one system.
Thanks, Alberto. And that's exactly how it's going to work. We are going to have, there's enough data to suggest from a merchant point of view that the pain is huge. Most of the merchants are telling, this is from data that we have dug out of papers, they are suggesting that they are losing 40% of their customers new customers within the first 3 months. Next, please. Point of sale is embracing new forms of technology or proximity-based payment, and the suggestion is that by 2015, 50% of these point of sale would have embraced this solution one way or the other. Next, please. You guys are carrying 14, at least on an average, 14 loyalty cards, of which you're using only 6. And in spite of that, 43% of the customers are actually unhappy. They're saying they feel trapped. Mobile payments is becoming big. Next, please. Ours is a purely B2B solution. We are not suggesting a B2C solution. Our sustainable competitive advantage is going to be a low fixed per transaction cost, along with a subscription fee of $60. We have actually calculated this based on data that suggested that 75% of merchants are using 5 to 10% of their revenue on loyalty programs.
Thank you. Can you elaborate on how much does it cost for the merchant? How the processing function will function? Who's paying for what?
So for a merchant, it starts with a per transaction fee of anything around 1.5 to 4%, depending upon whether it's a card swipe or not. And along with that, there could be a per transaction fee of in the tune of 20 to 30 cents.
And you believe that that transaction fee will take them away from current payment methods which charge them the same amount?
That is true. We believe we can provide something lower than 1%, new innovative payment methods. We have already talked with our partner, Noka, about that. It's going to be completely, it will completely bypass Visa and MasterCard for these transactions. It will require one-time sign-up from the consumer, which is the mobile app user, and then he or she can use it at any merchant who has either our web-based POS or our standalone POS system.
Just want to add to that, one of the compelling reasons for this is the point of sale integration, exactly the way it works for Starbucks. So think about Starbucks loyalty program, except it's on a wider sphere.
And can you elaborate on what type of validation did you make between the user, the merchant, to get some approval on your approach?
This is not a new idea. We have been working on this. In fact, we started off a little context modeling company called Zinuk a couple of years back. So we polled 27 merchants on the efficacy of loyalty programs that they have been signed to. We have got some data. I would not say by any means it's complete. However, validation suggests that there are 4 constructs of loyalty programs, and that is cost, security, and 2 others I can't remember at this point of time. But suggestion is that we have done our bit of due diligence on that space as well.
Just to add to that, the market segmented, the segmented market we are looking at here is internet-connected merchants, and they already have a POS system that they feel is antiquated, and they are either looking for an upgrade or looking for a new POS system.
Out of curiosity, why would you challenge the POS market when there are really heavily entrenched players with really huge marketing budgets with open APIs that you could build onto?
So the reason behind this is to be able to provide a complete solution. Our solution that sort of helps small and medium-sized businesses